Right then, morning everybody. So I weren't going to do a video on this, but it's quite interesting and I think people will get a lot of value from it. So this window wall here, we've come to survey it and they're getting condensation forming on all lot. So what we said was, in what we normally someone would see these to these types of houses is once skirting's took off, because there's all air bricks underneath here, they've got quite a few actually. Once skirting's took off, there'll be a gap from timber to wall.
And that's one of air bricks. And this is where they've had an issue. We've got another air brick that's in the middle of here. And then you've got another air brick on side, and then some on sides. But what I want you to see is, this is what you normally get. You get this gap. Now some people say to leave it and allow fresh air to come up into the house, but I don't, because it creates a cold spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill that with foam, and I'll show you pictures later on, and then slice it off when it's cured. And then we're going to put isotherm on that wall. So we've keyed it, took all it loose off, and then I'm going to SBR it to get an extra key. So you've got two types of key on there, and then we'll skim it tomorrow. So this is all part of prep, and then we'll put skirtings back on. We might even put skirting back on today, and then skim down to them. But then I might not, because it's a short area to skim under there. So I'll play it by ear. I'll see what we're going to do later. But I thought it'd be interesting for people that want to know about cold spots. So these air bricks, they create cold spots, and we're going to eliminate that cold spot. And also you can get cold damp air touching bottom of plaster, and we've took all that plaster off. So once foam's in there, once foam's in bottom and then sliced off, then you've got a bit of insulation there. You ain't got that cold draft coming up, you ain't got that cold bridge, you're not going to get any condensation forming up bottom of plaster. Yeah, so I just thought I'd show you that. And this is what you get with experience. So when I came to survey this, I had an idea what were going to be happening. But we also fetched stuff. We fetched some stuff just in case it were going to be different. So we've got a load of different stuff on there which we could have hacked it off and put boards on and done a different job. But what we recommended was to warm this surface up, because bay is solid brick. And then it's cavity on these two sides. So I just thought it'd be interesting for you to see, and I'll show you some pictures later. So I'm signing off. Bye bye now. So we've just put all foam on, formed it up to floor level. All pieces are cut ready. SBR'd it, it's already keyed. We're going to give this an hour and then come back, slice all that off level, and then put these strips that we've already cut ready. These strips of isotherm on ready, and then we'll get all air bubbles out. And then tomorrow, well, I might look at putting skirting. So we've already cleaned skirting down, so I'll have a look at how they fit. It's only a 4mm membrane, so it might be better off going back on before we skim. I'll have a look when we once we've fitted it. So that's it. We'll get something to take. See you in a bit. A threat me a bit. Right, so we've got this stuff on. And one thing I was on about with these windows and window fitters, so I've had to take this plastic strip off. This is what I'm going about with plastic strips. So behind here, with plastic strips, when window fitters fit windows, for some reason they only put a couple of, well, I know what the reason is, so they put a couple of dots of foam on it. They don't foam it and seal it all the way up, which leaves a gap, and you get cold spots. And I showed you before that there were cold spots because the floor weren't sealed. Well, also they put this plastic strip on, and then they just fitted it with sealant all the way around. So as well as cold air coming up from there, you get like what's called a wind tunnel effect. So it just kind of goes round and round, and then that made this area really cold. I don't know what answer is. The reason why they do it is so they're not waiting on foam to cure to slice it off, so they can just put them on and then they get on to the next job. Once they're on, you don't know, unless you take them off, you don't know what's behind it until you start getting these cold spots. If it were me, I'd just take these strips off and then plaster them, get something to skim them in, put this stuff on, isotherm. So I'll let you have a look at it anyway. I've got it on, waited about an hour and a half for foam to cure, and then sliced it off, finished it off on top, filled up gaps in, and then we're just going to skim it tomorrow. So I'll take some pictures, put them on film, you can have a look at them. I'm going to foam that gap and we'll slice it off tomorrow, and then we'll reinstate all plastic. Job's a good one.